My husband is having an affair with the married woman downstairs. I hid in the hallway smoking with her husband. We didn't dare return until they'd had their fill. Later they grew even bolder. The married woman's husband said, I'm going to catch them cheating. What about you? I kept eating skewers. Carefree. You catch. I catch. Slowly closing the door, I exhaled a turbid breath. Miscalculation. Should have called ahead. If not for my quick thinking, how awkward the scene would be. Let's wait for them. Who else will spoil our own husbands if not us? Opening the emergency exit, I headed to the 18th floor, landing for air. But after a few steps, I saw the man from the 18th floor, smoking there. Oh, locked out too. He gave me a sidelong glance, said she was making me desserts at home, but the stove's cold and the egg tarts are still in takeout boxes. What a mess. Misery loves company. Borrowing his lighter, we made for small talk. From tabloid gossip to state affairs, we were nearing global geopolitics. Finally, noises and amorous sounds drifted from above. The man checked his watch. Half an hour. Your husband's quite enduring. Men love holding out, but let's be real. 10 minutes average. Now I feel attacked. As I entered our home and was changing shoes, Daniel emerged from the kitchen wearing an apron. He took my coat and bag from me. Are you hungry? The soup's ready. I'll just whip up a couple side dishes, he said. The aroma of chicken mushroom soup already filled the air. But after what happened downstairs earlier, I couldn't help suspecting the meals I'd been eating were actually meal kits all along. Still, I smiled contentedly. Thank you for all your hard work, husband. Daniel's expression softened. You're the one working outside all day who deserves thanks. Go have some tea. I made fruit-infused tea. Dinner in 10 minutes. Clutching my glass, I surveyed our home. The throw blanket on the sofa lay slightly askew, and the living room trash bin had a fresh liner. Our bedroom window stood wide open, heavy with gardenia scent. The bathroom showed recent use. Damp patches still glistening on the floor. Everything appeared accounted for. I nodded in approval. Dinner's ready, dear. Coming. I poured the fruit tea down the drain, set the glass aside, and joined him in the dining area. We ate in comfortable silence, across from each other. Then Daniel mentioned his laptop's faulty keyboard and some new smartwatch model. I immediately understood. Pulling out my phone, I transferred him 100,000 yuan without hesitation. Daniel's attentiveness became visibly warmer. He kept serving me dishes and refilling my soup bowl. Before clearing the table, he even sliced a plate of fruit for me. Meanwhile, I was reading a message from Ryan downstairs. You transferred money to your husband? How much did your wife take? 88,000. TSK. A 12,000 difference. Middlemen really are ruthless. Nightfall. Daniel and I shared a bed, yet the distance between us felt like the Milky Way. At 1 a.m., my phone rang. Startled awake, I fumbled to answer. Hello, Mr. Zhao. Yes, absolutely. This quote is already rock bottom. Right. I understand. Times are tough for everyone. Tell you what, next round's on me. Let's discuss this properly over dinner. All right, you should get some rest. As I hung up, rustling sheets betrayed movement beside me. Husband, did I wake you? Sorry. It's fine. I was already awake. Go back to sleep. Big day tomorrow. Ugh, my husband's just the sweetest. I face-planted into instant oblivion. 2:40 a.m. The phone screamed again. Eyes still shut. I slurred something incoherent and killed the call. The figure beside me kept tossing. I smacked my lips and plunged back into the void. At 4 a.m, the familiar alarm rang once again. The person beside me bolted upright and walked out. I reached out to silence the alarm, pulled the covers over my head, and thought, sleep, 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 stretching lazily after waking up. Another beautiful day. Ran into Ryan in the elevator. I nodded and yawned. What? Didn't sleep well? Not too bad. Set 3 alarms before bed. TSK, winning the battle but losing the war. Huh? I squinted contentedly. I sleep like a log. Out as soon as I hit the pillow. He's different. Though, with his anxiety disorder, he was up all night again. Can't he nap during the day? Well, that depends on your wife. Speaking of, how was your night? Ryan's furrowed brows could have crushed a mosquito. She wanted it and kept me up half the night. Your husband's slacking, clearly not satisfying her. No way. I rubbed my chin. I bought him plenty of health supplements. Ryan pressed his lips together. I think I need a business trip. Seconded. Before leaving, I tossed an old phone with 3 alarms set into the safe and changed the passcode. That afternoon, I texted Daniel from an unknown number. Honey, I lost my phone and can't get a replacement SIM abroad. I'll contact you when I'm back. Of course, the overseas trip never happened. I checked into a nearby hotel instead. Days passed with good food and drink. Then I'd watch Daniel smoke by the safe at midnight on video, cackling like a madman. On the 4th day of this business trip, the old phone in the safe died from battery drain. Ryan and I met for skewers at a nearby joint. He said, I'm catching them tonight. You in? I chewed mutton thoughtfully. You catch, I catch. Here's how it went down. We burst in, kicking open the bedroom door before they could react. Daniel was atop Ryan's wife, who moaned while clawing red streaks down his back. I blinked. That good? No fucking way. My own experience with him hadn't felt like that. Still swallowing, I saw Ryan fully commit, pale and shaking. He gasped, H, how could you? The tangled pair scrambled for bedsheets. Outmatched, Daniel frantically pulled on clothes while Ryan's wife held the covers hostage. Ryan shot me a look. Sell it. I summoned my best outrage. Daniel, you bastard. And then, wanna throw down? Hell yeah. Ryan and I locked eyes. He charged at Daniel while I went for his wife. I yanked the covers off, grabbed her by the hair, and slapped her face, repeatedly. Whack, whack, whack. She shrieked for help, but the man who could save her was currently getting his ass handed to him by her husband. Screams, pleas, curses, music to my ears. When the storm passed, Ryan and I stood smoking on the 18th floor landing, the post-battle cigarettes tasting especially sweet. 30 minutes later, he went downstairs while I headed up. Daniel sat on the couch, his face swollen like a rotten pumpkin. The house had been restored to order, but noticeably absent was his usual gardenia scent. The air now reeked of something foul enough to turn stomachs. No acting required this time. Every emotion was raw and real. Daniel, I want a divorce. His head jerked up, eyes swimming with fragility, guilt, and desperate appeal. Daniel had been the complete package in college. Top of the class with looks that made him campus royalty. People used to say, the most handsome coder alive, and the only programmer who could model on the side, claiming I'd fallen for his pretty face. Well, can't say they were wrong, but now, the swollen mess before me couldn't stir a single flutter. With a thud, he dropped to his knees before me. Honey, I was wrong. I lost my mind. Please give me another chance. Let's not get divorced, okay? Like hell, Daniel. I've worked myself to the bone out there just to support this family and give you a better life. Is this how you repay me? I messed up. I shouldn't have done this. I swear it'll never happen again. Please, just one more chance. How long has this been going on? Just this once, I swear. She came over to borrow soy sauce. And I was an idiot. I couldn't resist her advances. If I hadn't installed security cameras, I might have actually believed that. Borrow soy sauce. As if anyone would by that excuse. Daniel, you've broken my heart. I want a divorce. Please, sweetheart. I know I screwed up. Just one more chance. That's all I'm asking. He crawled forward on his knees and clutched at my legs. Disgusted, I kicked him away and stormed into the guest room, slamming and locking the door behind me. Daniel kept pleading outside. I shouted, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Just let me think. Okay, I'll be quiet. Anything you want. Just don't leave me. Wiping my tears, I pursed my lips and asked Ryan, how's it going on your end? Won't agree to the divorce. You? Same. Still, this was exactly what I expected. If he agreed that easily, it'd take all the fun out of it. What's the next move? When heaven is about to place great responsibility upon a man, it first tests his resolve. Let's begin with a course of cold treatment then. I stopped speaking to Daniel altogether. Wouldn't even grant him a glance. His sandwiches went straight into the trash. I rejected his calls and deleted his messages unread. Came home late every night, reeking of alcohol. Refused to share a bedroom. Daniel's deterioration was visible to the naked eye. He stopped sleeping altogether and resumed taking anti-anxiety meds. Finally, his nerves stretched to breaking point. On the 8th day, he blocked my path. "We need to talk." I sidestepped his hand, brushed non-existent dust off my sleeve, and said icily, 6 p.m. I'll be back. "Fine, I'll wait." I arrived home at 6:30. Daniel was pacing anxiously. "You're back. Are you hungry? Should we eat first? I made your favorites." I slammed my handbag down. "Enough small talk. Out with it. What do you want to discuss?" Daniel clenched his fists. "I'm exhausted too. Every day, I clean, I wait, I cook. I can't remember the last time I felt joy. Sometimes I don't even feel real anymore." I knew exactly where this was heading. He spoke of his hardships, of my neglect toward our family, of my lack of care for him. These were all things he had confided in Ryan's wife. And as it happened, Ryan's wife harbored similar grievances. So they hit it off immediately, finding common ground in their discontent. I watched Daniel wallow in self-pity. To be honest, I felt nothing. This life, you asked for it. Back then, you said work was too stressful, that you needed a break. I agreed without hesitation, and from then on, all the expenses, mortgage, car payments, fell on my shoulders alone. And this is how you repay me? You only see your own struggles. But what about mine? Claire, have you ever spared a thought for me? Have you ever considered setting aside even a little time for me? I'm a man. What I need is a gentle, caring wife like Sophia, not a boss who barks orders at me. Sophia, it took me a moment to process. Oh, right, Ryan's wife. Ugh, that almost threw me off. I quickly delivered today's most crucial line. "Daniel, admit it, you're just a selfish, cowardly, incompetent leech who still acts high and mighty. You're like a sewer rat, and the sight of you makes me sick." "Shut up. Why should I? Isn't everything I said the truth?" I stepped forward, putting myself within his striking range. Physical contact, verbal abuse, and finally, he shoved me away with brutal force. I said, "Shut up." A searing pain shot through me. Fuck. I twisted my ankle. I collapsed onto the ground. The next second, a pool of crimson blood seeped beneath me. My face went slack. Dazed, I raised my head and pressed a hand to my belly. "My baby." Daniel froze mid-step. "What baby?" Ever since he started screwing that married woman downstairs, we hadn't slept together in half a year. Men are truly baffling creatures. He could cheat without remorse, then shamelessly beg for forgiveness. But if a woman did the same, he'd act like the world's greatest victim. Who was it? That man who drove you home last time? Or the one who answered your phone during your business trip? Claire, how could you do this to me? My lips curled into a sneer as I spat through gritted teeth, voice dripping with venom. "What? You expect me to stay chaste while you're out there rotting like spoiled produce? Do you overestimate yourself or underestimate me? I got bored of your 3-minute performances ages ago. This works out perfectly. We're done. But you're not taking a single cent of my money." With every barbed word, Daniel's breathing grew heavier. His eyes burned crimson, his entire body trembling with tension. "Shut up. Just shut the hell up." "Huh," I sneered mockingly. "What if I don't? Gonna strangle me to death?" Those words seemed to jolt Daniel awake. The moment my words landed, he lunged, pinning me to the ground with his hands locked around my throat. 1 second, 2, 3, figures burst through the door. Daniel was wrestled down. As the pressure vanished from my neck, I gulped air in ragged gasps. Why not arrive later? Just in time to collect my corpse? Ryan helped me up. Fuck, you never said you were playing for keeps. Is that blood? You pregnant or something? Fake blood. Right, the men restraining Daniel were familiar faces. Neighbors from upstairs and down. Their expressions wavered between suspicion and poorly concealed curiosity. I seized the moment to wail. An affair wasn't enough. Now, you're silencing witnesses? I'm calling the police. True to my word, I wasn't bluffing, so I filed the report, demanding his 24-hour arrest. Aren't you getting an injury report? Pointless. With these marks, he'd get 5 days max. Waste of time. I asked Ryan, "You're in go, okay?" He rubbed his temples, seeing my resolute stance on divorce. He's now trying to claim my assets. Ryan's wife's rhetoric was almost identical to Daniel's. She accused Ryan of never being there for her. No care, no tenderness, no understanding. She felt insecure, convinced he didn't love her. The core argument was, even if I had an affair, it's your fault. So she demanded an equal split of their marital assets. No problem, I reassured Ryan. Before Daniel resurfaces tomorrow, I'll have a chat with her about how she'll return what belongs to my marriage. In just under a year, Daniel dropped nearly $1 million on her, back when I trusted him most. He claimed he'd been arrested for drunk driving, said a friend could fix it for $270,000 in facilitation fees. I transferred the money without a second thought. He, in turn, didn't hesitate half a second before spending it on a designer bag for Ryan's wife. The hospital ran tests and prescribed some meds. My neck and legs were fine. At home, I called a locksmith to replace our passcode lock entirely. That night, I slept soundly. I knew the whole neighborhood would learn about Daniel's affair before tomorrow. But who was his mistress? I said to Ryan's wife, within 3 days, "If you can't return every cent on this list, I'll send it to your parents. Then all your aunts and uncles, classmates, friends, and every neighbor on your block." Ryan's wife glared at me with venom in her eyes. "What gives you the right?" "No particular reason. I just want my money back. If you can't repay, I'll happily crowdfund it for you. Consider it a courtesy." Ryan's wife was trembling with rage now. "You wouldn't dare. It's because you're so domineering and money-obsessed that Daniel never liked you." I shrugged. "Like you? Then take him. I don't mind. But first, pay me back. Remember, you've got exactly 3 days." By 6 in the evening, I wasn't lingering outside. I'd gone home early, deadbolt the door, pushed the sofa against it, picked a movie, baked some fries, and blissfully put on my headphones. Over 2 hours passed. Around 8:30, the sound of failed passcode attempts started chiming repeatedly. 5 seconds of silence. Then sudden, violent pounding on the door. My name tangled in Daniel's curses, each syllable generously garnished with maternal references. So, he was a wolf in scholar's clothing after all. After 5 minutes of the symphony, I called Daniel's parents. "Hello, Ching Ching." "Hey, Claire." "Mom, save me. Daniel's trying to beat me to death." "What happened? What's going on?" "He's having an affair. Slept with another woman. When I confronted him, he attacked me, tried to strangle me. If someone hadn't called the police, I'd be dead. Now, he's back and wants to hit me again. He'll kill me this time. Mom, you and Dad need to come now. He's going to." I hung up abruptly, counting the minutes. His parents would need at least 20 minutes to get here from home. Too slow. Daniel was already pounding on the door. Can't risk him getting arrested again before they arrive. Wait, Daniel has a cousin who lives nearby. How could I forget? "Cousin, please help. Daniel's trying to kill me. I can't open the door. He'll beat me to death." The neighborhood chat was already buzzing with complaints. Calls about noise. Curses calling us insane. With a trembling voice, I sent a voice message. Asterisk, "Can someone contact the property manager? I can't open the door. He'll kill me." Asterisk, "Same as yesterday?" "Yeah, sounds like the 19th floor again." "What happened? What's going on?" "You don't know?" "Hard to explain. I'll DM you. You should call the police." "What good's the property manager?" I was already sobbing uncontrollably. "The police won't help. I called them yesterday. He was only arrested for 24 hours. I can't open the door. He nearly choked me to death last night. Good Samaritans were already mobilizing. Hide and don't open the door. They're calling security to handle this together." By the time Daniel's cousin arrived, Daniel was already pinned against the wall. He struggled violently. "Let me go." "What the hell? What are you doing?" "Who are you?" "I'm his brother." "Good. Someone's home. This bastard had an affair and beat his wife. Shouldn't your family rein him in?" "Impossible. There must be some mistake. Release him first. This is a family matter regardless. Keep this up and I'll sue." As the crowd exchanged doubtful glances and loosened their grip, I tremblingly unlatched the front door. When Daniel's eyes locked onto mine, like a leopard spotting a hare, he lunged at me with a whoosh. Amid my shriek, he was seized again. See for yourself. Look at him. He's trying to kill her. His cousin's face darkened. Daniel, what madness is this? Stop now. Daniel wouldn't yield. His glare burned as if to tear flesh from my bones. So, I had an affair. She did too, carrying another man's child. A collective gasp. Every eye turned to me. I paled, swaying against the wall for support. Daniel, you bastard. You're lying. Yesterday, you threatened to smear my reputation for a bigger divorce settlement, but I never thought you'd actually do it. While you lazed around unemployed at home, I worked to pay our mortgage, car loans, and supported you. How could you betray me like this? Me having an affair, getting someone else pregnant? See for yourself. I flung a medical report across the room. This doctor's certificate with official seal proves I've never been pregnant. Someone picked up the fallen document. Daniel snatched it away violently, his face twisted with fury. Impossible. This must be fake. You were clearly pregnant. I haven't touched you in half a year. You must have slept with. Enough, my cousin roared. Daniel, stop making a spectacle of yourself. Claire, listen, let's go inside and talk this through calmly. There must be some misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? What misunderstanding? That he accidentally climbed into someone else's bed? Or that he mistook another woman for his wife? More importantly, who wants to talk? I was only buying time. In that instant, Daniel's parents came rushing out of the elevator. Daniel, you disgrace. What are you doing? Daniel turned stiffly, momentarily dazed before fixing me with a gaze of pure hatred. His parents dragged Daniel away. He hadn't spoken a single word since his parents arrived. Standing there in silence, he endured his mother's slaps raining down on him. Ching-ching. I retreated timidly, choking back sobs as my fingers brushed the fading bruises on my neck, ghastly purple against my smudged makeup. I'm terrified. He hits me. He'll kill me. The room fell dead silent. Daniel's venomous gaze clung to me like a shadow. Ryan said, "You won't push him over the edge, will you?" I arched an eyebrow. This, just the beginning. Mark my words. Even now, his family will still preach reconciliation. But whether he'd snap and do something drastic, that's the real question. Screw it. I'm hiring bodyguards. Near 10 p.m. Ryan's wife left their home. Ryan had moved out, but the cameras he'd installed still watched the empty rooms. He alerted me immediately. Daniel's phone remained on the living room table. When Ryan's wife couldn't reach him, she'd inevitably head to his parents' place. So I followed. Sure enough, her destination was the housing complex where Daniel's parents lived. She climbed the stairs and knocked. 10 minutes later, she emerged with Daniel, both slipping into the park gazebo. Under the dim streetlight, I turned off the flash and took a slightly blurry photo. Using a burner account, I posted it in the residence group chat, where Daniel's parents were members. Unit 1203. Is this your son? The woman he's holding doesn't seem to be your daughter-in-law. The group fell silent. 2 minutes later, someone came jogging over, slowing their pace as they neared the garden pavilion, stealing glances at the embracing couple. After a while, another passerby appeared. Unit 1203 responded aggressively. Which unit are you from? Don't spread lies. My son is at home. Keep this up, and I'll sue you for defamation. All right, maybe I was mistaken. My apologies. Simultaneously, I timed the photo's deletion perfectly. As for what would unfold next, I no longer cared. I turned and walked away, my deed concealed like a shadow. Ryan said his wife had changed her mind again. She'll agree to the divorce, but only if I give her $2 million. Just $2 million, she says. Ryan laughed bitterly. $2 million? Does she think money grows on trees? Before the affair, I supported her willingly. Now she's cuckolded me, and I'm still supposed to fund her? She won't get a single cent from me. He spat the words through gritted teeth, genuinely insulted. The next day, Ryan's wife lowered her price. Now she'd settle for just 1 million. On the third day, Daniel called me directly. You just want a divorce, don't you? I'll agree to it, as long as you leave Sophia out of this. Sophia? Oh, Ryan's wife. Before I could respond, he hurled another vicious curse. Claire, may you cling to your money for the rest of your miserable life. TCH. How heartwarming. So, that's it then? As if they're going to cough up every cent they stole. Daniel's calls seemed to put Sophia at ease. When the 3-day deadline passed, she offered no explanation. So I went to her parents' house, using the address Ryan had given me. They were an educated family, just the sort I prefer dealing with. Are you Sophia's mother? The poised woman nodded. And you are? I pressed my lips together before forcing out the words. I hate to trouble you like this, but Sophia took 968,000 from my husband. She refuses to return it, and I'm at my wit's end. Disbelief flashed across the woman's face. Impossible. My son-in-law has never let my daughter want for anything. Who is your husband? Why would she take money from him? With trembling hands, I retrieved a photo from my purse. The image showed Sophia and Daniel locked in a passionate embrace. Auntie, I'm a victim too. I don't believe you. I won't take your word for it. I'll ask my daughter for the truth. Of course, that's your right, Auntie. This ledger details every transfer my husband made to Sophia over 10 months, along with every gift he bought her. Each entry is documented. We can cross-check them one by one if you'd like. That won't be necessary. Get out. Fine, but I'm giving her 3 more days. If she still refuses to repay, I'll have no choice but to file a lawsuit. I said leave. Watching Sophia's mother sway unsteadily filled me with grim satisfaction. Daniel's accusatory call came later than expected, but it came all the same. Claire, what the hell are you playing at? Didn't I warn you not to make trouble for Sophia? I replied coolly. Did I ever agree? Daniel barked out a humorless laugh. Fine, just fine. You want a divorce. It won't be that easy. Meanwhile, Ryan's situation progressed far more smoothly than mine. Sophia's parents arranged a meeting with Ryan. Ryan played the victim to perfection. Defeated, broken. I don't want revenge or retribution, he said. I just want this divorce. Sophia threw a tantrum, demanding 800,000 yuan as a condition for the divorce. Ryan kept his head lowered in silence. Her parents' faces burned with shame. Her father even slapped her across the face. How dare you speak? Sign it. If you refuse, I'll disown you as my daughter. In the end, Sophia signed the divorce papers and was taken away by her parents, carrying all her clothes, handbags, and jewelry. Daniel loitered near me for 3 days. On the first day, he tried to storm into my company, but couldn't even get past the reception desk. On the second day, he waited in the underground parking lot. The moment I appeared, he charged at me, only to be intercepted by my bodyguard. Claire, what the hell is this? You're emotionally unstable, irritable, aggressive, showing violent tendencies. Daniel, have you stopped taking your medication? What nonsense are you spouting? I adjusted my glasses. Daniel, you should stop using those stimulants. They conflict with your psychiatric meds. Can't you see you're becoming increasingly neurotic? I'll kill you. Claire. On the third day, Daniel broke into the house. Since we're still legally married, he technically owns half the property. Hiring someone to pick the lock almost seemed justified. He rampaged through the house, smashing everything in sight. I watched calmly, documenting the destruction with photos. My icy composure infuriated him. He advanced toward me with murderous intent. The bodyguard stepped between us. He let out a cold chuckle. What, does it take 2 men to satisfy you now? After not touching you for a whole year? Are you that desperate? Let me make this clear. I'd sleep with anyone but you. Claire, this isn't over between us. Daniel's appearances were always profoundly unpleasant, but at least Sophia transferred the money to me. I didn't know how she'd scrape together the full amount in 3 days, nor did I care, as long as the money arrived. From now on, she'd be dead to me. As for Daniel, early next morning, I drove straight to Daniel's father's workplace. It was a large clothing factory where he held some minor position in the admin office. For 10 unchanging years, he toiled there, never late, never leaving early, never taking leave. His office was the one place you could always find him. Sure enough, when I pushed open the office door, he was chatting with colleagues, travel mug in hand. Seeing me, his smile froze mid-sentence. He even took an instinctive step backward. I gave him no chance to speak, adopting a tearful wail as I made to kneel. Dad, please save me. I'm begging you. Make Daniel leave me alone. Hey now, what's all this? The two nearest men hurried to catch me, and I allowed myself to be pulled upright. Aren't you old Chen's daughter-in-law? I even attended your wedding. What happened? Why are you covered in bruises? Choking back sobs. I tugged my sleeves down to hide the purple-green marks on my arms. Of course, these weren't real injuries, just special effects makeup I'd paid someone to apply. Daniel's father visibly tried to shut me up, stiffly suggesting we step outside to talk. I played the traumatized victim perfectly, trembling while muttering to myself. He slept with other women, had affairs, emptied our savings, still demands money from me. Our home's destroyed from his rampages. He beats me, says he'll kill me. Just let me go. I won't press charges. Just grant me the divorce. He's gone mad. He'll really murder me. Daniel's father turned ashen. Out, all of you. Stop gawking and get out. The onlookers shuffled awkwardly toward the exit. I grabbed one woman's arm desperately. No, you can't leave. Claire, what are you doing? His bark made me flinch. I released my grip, feigning terror. His face darkened further. This reflects poorly on your family. Old Chen, word is your son hasn't worked for years. His wife supports them. And now infidelity? Exactly. And domestic violence too? Asking for money now. That's downright shameless. Daniel's father thumped the travel mug onto the table with a hollow clunk. Before he could speak, I preempted him with a shrill cry. I know Daniel kept this from you. He threatened me into silence too, but I can't take it anymore. I'll die like this. Please, make him let me go. Daniel's father clenched his molars hard enough to grind stone. Damn right, I didn't know before, but now that I do, this ends today. If that little bastard still acts up, I'll beat him dead myself. 2 days later, Daniel's parents contacted me. He'd agreed to the divorce. Their voices were glacial, laced with unmistakable resentment. I couldn't have cared less. Ryan accompanied me when signing the divorce papers. He waited outside the cafe without entering. Daniel arrived with his father in tow. After we sat, I slid the divorce papers across to him. No custody battles, just the cold arithmetic of asset split. His terms: walk away empty-handed. Daniel stared at the clauses for a long, suspended moment, then at me, prodded by his father. He mechanically took the pen and signed. The instant the ink dried, I stood abruptly. 8 tomorrow at the divorce office. Don't be late. I exited the cafe first, leaving their shadows behind. Ryan stepped out of the car and naturally took my bag. Finished? Yeah, get in. Stop right there. Daniel's voice came from behind as he rushed toward us in long strides, glaring at Ryan. Why is it you? What are you doing here? You too. I get it now. This was all your scheme. You set me and Sophia up, didn't you? Daniel's father caught up, his face twisted in fury. What madness is this now? Come home with me. Daniel shoved him away violently, sending his father stumbling backward, nearly falling. Daniel, have you truly lost your mind? Daniel acted as if he couldn't hear. Right, what a coincidence that you just happened to find out. You were clearly in on this together. How long have you been screwing around behind my back? Is Claire's baby yours? Ryan grabbed him by the collar and drove a fist into his gut. Daniel grunted but couldn't even bend over from the pain. Ryan leaned close to his ear and said icily, You thought you could sleep with my wife for free? Didn't you notice your family's every move was being watched? Daniel, your life is only yours on borrowed time. Don't push your luck. Sign the divorce papers quietly, and don't test me. Daniel was shoved back hard, landing on the pavement. His face was bloodless, staring blankly in shock. Behind him, his father stood expressionless. Ryan asked me, Will this actually work? I nodded. It might not work on others, but Daniel already had an anxiety disorder, compounded by depression and anxiety. His psychological defenses were practically crumbling, and I was determined to mess with his head. Ryan took a deep breath. No wonder they say never cross a woman. I let out a soft laugh. In this world, no one should get too cocky. Push your luck, and even rabbits will bite. How did I discover Daniel's affair? It was during his second year of unemployment when a new couple moved in downstairs and brought us cookies. Daniel said they were delicious and even vowed to learn how to make them for me someday. The cookies never materialized, but 3 months later, a bag of wontons appeared in our kitchen. Daniel claimed the dexterous wife downstairs had handmade them as thanks. She kept struggling to park, backing in and out, nearly in tears. So I stepped in and parked it for her. A trivial thing, really, yet he recounted it with unusual enthusiasm. At the time, my heart ached for him. I knew his life had grown so dull that even the smallest spark of novelty became something to savor. I just never imagined he'd have an affair, and so swiftly at that. Just half a month later, we took the elevator down together. I stood at the front while he and Sophia lingered behind. A casual glance over my shoulder, just a flicker of peripheral vision, caught their hands brushing briefly apart. They were gazing at each other with tender devotion, carrying on their affair right under my nose. What did it feel like? My scalp prickled with numbness. Phantom shapes swam before my eyes. My feet turned to lead weights, dragging me downward into an endless fall, a bottomless abyss. The weather was exceptionally fine on the day Daniel and I went to the divorce office. I drove myself there, but Daniel brought Sophia along. Clearly, they wanted to flaunt their victory before me. Yet Daniel couldn't even fill out that ill-fitting suit of his. As for Sophia, without pampered comforts or a sugar daddy, she'd already begun to wither. Claire, thank you for letting Daniel and me be together. I nodded in wholehearted agreement. Then I wish you both a happy marriage and eternal love. Do make sure to stay locked together. Spare the world from further contamination. Outside the divorce office, Daniel spoke his first words to me all day. Claire, you'll regret this. The corner of my mouth twitched upward. You, do your best. Sophia, a high-maintenance wife with extravagant financial and emotional demands. Daniel was just an ordinary man who mistook novelty for love and thrill for commitment. Let's see who breaks first, whether he wears Sophia down or she drives him mad. The month-long cooling-off period before the divorce brought unexpected tranquility to my life. I listed my current apartment and moved into a hotel near the office. Work consumed my days, leaving no room for idle thoughts. Ironically, I owe Daniel some gratitude. His abrupt resignation back then forced me out of my comfort zone. Otherwise, I'd likely be pregnant, raising children, confined to domesticity. Had that been my reality, Daniel's affair would have shattered me completely. Ryan finalized his divorce a few days before mine. The moment he got the papers, he called me, nearly derailed. Good thing I warned her before we entered. Sure enough, she tried backing out. Sophia no longer wanted the divorce. She wanted to go back. As for why, Ryan couldn't care less. Honestly, when someone abandons all dignity, they become unstoppable. You'd better watch out too. After that call, I discreetly gathered details. Rumors said Sophia marched into Daniel's parents' home the day after we left the divorce office. Complete chaos ensued. Daniel's mother collapsed from the shock and was hospitalized, so they settled for second best, renting an apartment together. They must have had a few happy days. Then Daniel started borrowing money frequently. He borrowed from friends, from relatives, anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, sometimes even $30,000 to $50,000. But supply couldn't meet demand. He couldn't satisfy Sophia. Soon, their relationship imploded. Daniel cursed Sophia for being shameless. Sophia sneered that Daniel couldn't even get it up. Curses flew, blows followed, all dignity abandoned. It ended with Daniel collapsing, convulsing, and being rushed to the hospital. 2 days before our divorce appointment, I asked Daniel to meet. He'd changed so much I barely recognized him. Unshaven, gaunt, hollow-eyed, a man whose mind and body had been emptied. Ching-ching, I regret everything. Let's start over, please? Sophia seduced me. She just wanted my money. I was lonely. That's why I fell for it. We'll make it work this time. I promise. Please? I studied him coolly. I didn't ask you here for this. Then what? Tell me. I'm listening. I slid a photograph across the table. Consider this a warning. I have hundreds like it. Don't you dare back out at the divorce office, or I'll make sure everyone sees them. Daniel's expression changed in an instant. The pitiful look twisted into something vicious. You wouldn't dare. That's distributing obscene materials. You'll go to jail too. Huh, still sharp-witted. I see. Doesn't matter. Compared to being entangled with you, I'd rather serve time. I'll reform myself in there. Start anew. As for you, even under this free-spirited sky, you'll never live decently. Daniel, I'll tear this net apart if that's what it takes to gut you like a fish. I can always mend it later, so don't provoke me. Understood? The muscles in Daniel's face contorted violently. Suddenly, he produced a knife from nowhere. I'll kill you. Thud. He went flying from the kick. The bodyguard disarmed him and pinned him to the ground. Should we call the police? No need. Family matter. I forgive him. Under the curious stares of onlookers, I looked down at him imperiously. Did you really think I'd come to meet you alone? How naive can you be? Behave, Daniel. Don't ruin my marriage registration the day after tomorrow. By then, I'll either be divorced or widowed. Your choice. The moment the divorce papers were in my hands, I felt an overwhelming lightness. Turns out, no matter how indifferent I'd pretended to be, some part of me had always been wound-tight as a bowstring. Now, I could finally relax completely. Daniel was escorted here and taken away by his parents. I didn't conceal from his parents that he'd pulled a knife. I even suggested they consider hospitalization if Daniel exhibited further violent behavior. Hospitalization for what? Psychiatric evaluation. Obviously, they cursed me for having ulterior motives. I chuckled and hung up. Some things don't require elaboration. Plant one seed of doubt, and, with each related incident, that seed will grow until it consumes their conscience. Ryan called to invite me to dinner, celebrating my newfound single status. The restaurant he chose was pleasantly secluded. We talked over dinner, drinking more than we probably should have. Ryan studied me through half-lidded eyes. I think we're remarkably compatible. I arched an eyebrow. Don't you dare say, let's give it a try. He paused for 2 beats. He gave me a sidelong glance. No reason, just unnecessary. If circumstances allow, I'd prefer our relationship remain professional. Strictly professional. Anything beyond that, truly unnecessary. Ryan chuckled softly and shook my hand. As you wish. The remaining awkwardness between us dissolved completely after clearing the air. Ryan reminded me to stay vigilant. Daniel had already completely unraveled. There's no telling what such a man might do. But thankfully, I've already sent my parents away to another city. I'm preparing to start fresh there myself. Maybe I'll return to my old profession, or perhaps try something completely new. Either way, the future holds new beginnings.